Okay, guys, good morning. This is our MSYSA webinar that we do every other week. We like to keep you guys informed of what's happening along the Maryland and DC borders. We'd like to welcome everybody. I know a lot of you have been back to work. So the call-in is a little bit smaller than it usually is, but I'm glad you guys were able to join in today. It's not going to be a long one. There's not a monster amount of information, but we just wanted to touch base. We have some things we want to report to everybody, and then we can finish off with some questions and answers like we always do at the end. We don't have a guest speaker today. We're running out of guest speakers. If anybody has any ideas of people that would like to recommend that we try to get in touch with, we'll do that. We'll remain doing these webinars every other week until we feel like we can't report anymore, and then we'll go to once a month just to touch base with everybody and kind of like just see what's all going on. Just a quick guideline, this is a recorded webinar as always, and if you're listening, we appreciate if you put it in the mute mode so that we don't hear barking dogs or yelling wives or husbands. If you have a couple questions, just use the chat feature, and if you do decide to talk, please identify what club or affiliation you're from, and please be respectful. So we have some of our board members and staff are going to do some reporting today on some different things that we're doing. It's going to be good information. We've been in complete 100% contact with U.S. Youth. They've been really good throughout this whole ordeal with communication and making a lot of changes. There's a lot of exciting things that are happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, or you don't know about, that is going to be really good for U.S. Youth affiliations throughout the state of Maryland and through the country. There's a lot of good programming coming out of this mess because they've had a lot of time to really look at different programming issues that they've had throughout the years, and they're making big changes. So it's pretty exciting. So the first thing we want to talk about is something that we put together through our State Cup director, Brad Roos, which is going to be the festival that we're putting together for later on. And Brad's going to discuss it. He's up in the mountains, so hopefully he has a good connection to chat. Go ahead, Brad.
Thanks, Mark, and I hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, I'm using my phone for the first time, so I hope this works okay. So we've as everybody knows, we got to the point where we could not have State Cup or President's Cup, any of our Cup series for this spring. So what we decided, after kind of looking at where we were and what phase and where the situation was in the state of Maryland, we decided to host a return to the field festival, which is going to salute the COVID-19 essential workers, all the people that had to work during the crisis, both healthcare, emergency services, police, truck drivers, supermarkets, anyone that which was included in essential workers. We are saluting them as part of this back to the field play. And basically it's going to be the last weekend in July, the 25th and 26th, Saturday and Sunday. All of the games will be held at Covenant Park in Columbia, which is SAC's home fields. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 30-minute matches within a 3.5 to 4 hour time frame. So basically you would either come on a Saturday morning or afternoon, or a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, and you would play your 3 matches. We decided on this format because basically just getting back we didn't want to play full out games because we think that the fitness level is not going to be what it should be. We're cognizant of making sure that there's no injuries. We're actually adding additional trainers for that weekend to be there. And you're basically, you'd play a round robin. The games do not count. We're not keeping standings. We're not keeping points. It's just a chance to get out and play, which we thought was really important. We will be seeding teams, so we're going to try to put we're going to try to put teams in the most competitive situation that they can. This festival is open to any team in Maryland or the District of Columbia as long as they have USYS passes for either 2019-20 or the new ones for 2020-21. As long as they have a USYS a USYSA card, they can play in this particular event. We are not making anything on this. Basically, for 12, U12 and younger, it's $100 for the 3 matches. For 13 and above, it's $175. The referee fees, the only thing it doesn't include is the referee fees, which are paid in cash at the field. For 16, U16 and below, it's $25 per team for a 30-minute match. For 17s and above, it's $30. So again, we've asked the referees. They're also interested in getting back on the fields. We've asked them to kind of help us as far as the fees were concerned. Again, trying to keep this as friendly as possible to the clubs and the teams. You can request, like I've gotten a few emails about which day, which age group is going to play. We're kind of waiting to see how many teams sign up and how we put them in there, and where they fit. I will take scheduling requests. I don't know that I can manage them all, but I will take them. For instance, let's say you're a U14 girls team and you want to play on Sunday. If no one else requests anything, or we have a couple that do Sunday, I'll put your division on Sunday afternoon. So we will try to be flexible. Right now, we don't have a lot of teams. I think it's only 3 or 4 teams registered. The registration deadline is a week from today. So again, look, if we'd love to do it, we're planning on doing it. We're planning on having the bells and whistles out there. We want to make this as fun as possible for the players and as safe and healthy for the players, the referees, and the spectators. So we're excited about it. We think it's gonna go well. You can email me or call me if you have any questions. But again, it's open to any team, whether they played Cup or not, whether they played President's Cup, State Cup, or didn't play at all. It's open to any teams. So I don't know if anyone has any questions for me right now. I'd be happy to answer them.
Hey, Brad, this is Steve Senna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Steve, Senator, you're coming in loud and clear.
So I just sent something in chat. I don't think you're seeing it probably, though. My 05 girls want to play, but in order to have players available, we would have to play on Sunday.
Okay.
They're rising U16s.
Yeah, just send me, and I think because of the church services, Steve, it'll just be a Sunday afternoon grouping. We probably won't have 2 on Sunday. Just put, when you register, put that, there is a place to put considerations. But Steve, send me an email also, and
Okay.
I'll make sure that I try to get your division on Sunday.
All right, thanks, Brad.
Okay. And Steve, if you know other teams from Rush or whatever that you want to that you can kind of send out and help us as far as recruiting, we'd love to do it. Again, we're just doing this to get the kids out. We're keeping it bare bones as far as the price and what we're charging the teams and stuff. So I'm hoping to get a lot more teams this week to sign up.
No, I think the pricing point is good. And you said the deadline was a week from today?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good, Brad. I'll try to help if I can.
Thanks, Steve. Any other questions or thoughts?
We have a question. It says player passes for new players coming into a new team for next year. Can they use the current year passes, or do they need new passes?
No.
So we want to answer that since we just talked about it.
Yeah. So the greatest part about this particular event is you can either use last year's passes or next year's passes or a combination. We don't really care as long as they have a player card from either this past year or the next year, it's fine. And we're not taking state rosters, we're not taking league rosters. You're going to create your own roster to play. It's just a chance to play in some matches to get back on the field.
Okay, any other questions about the festival for Brad, for any of us about it?
Well,
Yes, sir. Julio from Pachuca.
Excuse me.
How big the roster
Who is
can
this?
be?
Who is this?
Julio. I'm sorry, I'm in PT. That's why I have my mask.
Go ahead, Julio.
Okay, sir. How many players the roster can be, for example, for the 2004s?
So 13 and above can have 22.
Okay,
And 12s can have 16. And here's the thing, Julio, you can combine kids from different teams just to make a roster up to just get a chance to play. We just want kids to play as long as they've been carded last year or for next year. We're fine with that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Julio.
Any other questions? You know, basically this festival really is just an attempt to try to help all of you get some playing time, you know, some kind of organized playing time. We're not really, you know, it's not state cup per se. It's just getting you guys back on the field and playing soccer was what we're all trying to do. And I know many of you have already been back on the field already practicing and you know, during the different jurisdictions around Maryland, most of them are into the final phase anyway now. So most of you should be out on the field doing your practicing and following the protocols. So if there's no other questions.
Can I just jump in on that?
Go ahead.
We've got currently a poll running that's trying to elicit where some of the clubs are, whether you've started practices, what phase you're in. I'm not sure if everybody's seeing it on their screen. I guess on the menu bar, there should be a polling tab. If it's not popping up on your screen, you might want to click on the polling and see what comes up. I'm going to keep it running through probably till Gandalf. And then we got 11 of the 33 on the call that have completed. So I'm guessing some people are seeing it, others may not. So if you can find it, you know, just take a quick look, see if you can find the poll. Just 3 or 4 questions just to give us a little bit of feedback as to where everybody is.
All right, thanks, Alan. So any other comments before we move on?
And Mark, is there any, because I can't, I think like Steve said, I can't see the chat. Are there any questions in the chat?
No, I answered those, Brad. No worries. This is
Okay.
Jessica Hafer.
Thank you, Jessica Hafer. And hey, real quick, I did want to thank Craig Blackburn of SAC, who helped me put this together and provided the facility. And he's really excited about hosting this. So, hey, whatever we can do to promote this, if there's anything I can do personally to make this work better for teams and to get teams out and to get them playing, let me know. I'm happy to do and help in any way possible.
Sounds great. Okay, next we want to introduce to you your favorite redhead from MSYSA, Jessica Hafer, who is our registration specialist, will give a report on where we are in the process. Jessica.
Thank you, Mark. So I hope everyone received our email yesterday that we sent out regarding the phase 3 sessions are going to be starting on July 15 at 6 p.m. We've also updated our website under the registration tab so that you can see the mandatory training sessions and have your registrars or your administrators for your club sign up for the date and time that works best for them. Again, this is for phase 3. So please make sure that they do register and at least attend one of those sessions. The review will happen for phase 1 and 2 in the beginning of the phase 3 session, and then we will be moving into how to submit your teams, players, and assign coaches and managers, and make sure that your teams are ready to go in August. So please make sure that you are letting your registrar or your administrators know that those phase 3 sessions are open for you to register and attend one of our sessions. Also, I'm sure a few of you have already realized that the APIs for the coaches and managers or any adult officials registered in GOT Sport have not been finalized yet. In the next week, those should be done. Currently, we have Safe Sport working. The main point to this is that you need to understand in order for the API to be successful in linking your Safe Sport, which is an external website, to your GOT Sport account and profile, you must let your coaches and managers know that their email, the spelling of their name, their gender, and their date of birth have to all match. Otherwise, those links will not actually link. So if that happens, you'll either have to update your information with SafeSport or take the whole course over again. And again, if anybody needs one-on-one training, my phone number and email are on the page. You are welcome to call me or email me with any questions.
Okay, any questions for Jessica? All right, and just want to say, registration has been going very smooth because Jessica gives 100% effort to making sure that problems are basically eliminated immediately so that everybody can get signed up with the new platform as easy as possible. So thanks, Jessica, for that. Any other questions? The next up on the agenda is Gandalf French, who's the MSYSA ODP Programs Director and Summer Camp Administrator. He's going to talk about the Summer Training Series introduction that's happening right now. Go ahead, Gandalf.
Thanks, Mark. As everybody knows, as we mentioned this previously, our long-running summer camp was unable to happen this year, obviously, because it's a residential camp. And so when we were looking to pivot into a new direction, we realized that many of these players across the state would be looking to get some kind of a day camp option in place as opposed to some of the more traditional longer camp options. So what we did is we have followed the template that we've used in the past for our winter training series and put out a summer training series that has 90-minute training sessions run by our ODP coaches with our curriculum that's been written to really have a positive impact for the players in their preseason. And these training sessions will be taking place at the Maryland Soccerplex. The facility is fantastic, and we're really excited for it. So far, registration for it's been going great. There are still some spaces available, and these will be happening in the last 2 weeks of July. So the 19th week and the 26th week. And information for that is available on our website, and I will add it to the chat as well if anybody's looking to share that information with their players. But if there are any questions about the summer training series, happy to answer them now while we're on the call.
Any questions before we move on? Okay, everybody got it. So our final guest speaker, who's very short, by the way, doesn't speak a lot, is Alan Lydiate, Director of Coaching. He'll be talking about return to play updates and this recent poll that we just sent out. Go ahead, Alan.
Appreciate it. Cheers, Mark. Yeah, not today. Obviously, I think in terms of the updates, there are certain things that are going on in certain districts. I did receive some information last night to wear masks in public spaces. So again, we're kind of continuing to evaluate any changes that are at a county. Obviously, there's no change at the state level as of or phase 2, stage 2 of the Maryland recovery. However, because of the I guess the progress towards competitive games, obviously we want to make sure that the players are ready for games. So some of those teams may be moving more into a phase 3 in terms of their training. And again, looking at the poll that we've provided, there's still several people still in phase 1, and that's the way it's going to be across the state. Obviously each county is different. We do have some that haven't returned, which obviously is going to be an impact, and we do recommend that we try to encourage them to start at phase 1 and start with that gradual return, upon the state, then, the local government guidelines, then your facility guidelines, and then obviously that you choose to put in place for your own groups. So, the good news is that, most people are local season. Some obviously looking to try and return for summer. Again, obviously we want to err on the side of, too soon. If you've just returned to practice, might not be a right time to start looking for games. However, if you've had 3, 4, 5 weeks of practice, then, obviously you're going to feel more comfortable or confident that might be the right opportunity for your players. So again, always keeping in mind your, your own environments and your own situation. Just another one, obviously with the summer heat, during your training sessions, we just got to make sure that we build in enough, and just reminder for the health and players, enough water breaks, keeping the social distancing when they are doing. Some people have asked about masks. Should they wear masks in the heat? Definitely, probably no. And also on the coaches be wearing masks. Again, it's personal choice. If they're in and amongst the players, now we've got to phase 2 where they're scrimmaging. They may want to, but you also have to be mindful if it's a camp, if it's over, a longer duration. Just be mindful of the heat and obviously the health factors of wearing a mask. Again, it's based on each environment. But we want to always keep, be mindful of the dangers or the potential dangers that some of these, protocols may cause. So just be mindful of some of those. It's right now centered around, the return to play. I'm just looking at the chat. Yeah, Paul. Hopefully we got most of it. I do have the internet provider here right now, so I'm working from my phone in terms. Hopefully, if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out directly to me. Again, if there's any questions centered around return to play protocols, always be sure to reach out. And hopefully, if I don't have the answers, obviously we can search the answers for you. That's pretty much it for me for today, Mark.
All right. Thanks, Alan. I know, guys, that Alan has bad internet right now. I think he's trying to do it on his phone, so it was going in and out. So some of it got lost in translation, Alan, but hopefully you guys got most of it. Anyway, that's basically what we had to report. If you look on the website right now, you can go through that survey that you guys just filled out. It's pretty interesting. There's some most of you have gotten back onto the playing field. There is 7% of the 33 or 35 participants that have not been on the field yet, and the reasons are, interesting why they haven't. It's pretty interesting. But one thing I wanted to say is that we have a long time employee who's retiring on the 24th of this month, Adrian Ryan. She's been like a statue at the MSYSA offices throughout the last 20 years. She's always been a wonderful and dedicated employee to youth soccer. Her daughter actually was a soccer player, and now she's one of the coaches at Rutgers University. And she's been our bookkeeper, our administrative assistant, our go-to girl, our registration helper, everything. And I just want to tell everybody that we're going to really miss her. She's been a wonderful addition to the staff at MSYSA, and we want to wish her a great, healthy, and happy retirement starting on the 24th. And if you guys know her, it would be a nice thing to maybe send her a little note wishing her a great retirement and thanking her for her dedicated service to all of you over the last 20 years. So I'm looking if there's any other questions that we can talk about. Okay, there's one of our affiliates asked about the possibility of a group insurance plan. I know that a survey went out. It's a good question because we can't lobby for a discount unless we have the majority of the affiliates joining in for a group rate. So if you haven't filled out that form, it would be a great thing to fill out that form to let us know if you're interested in participating in a group discount. I don't know why you wouldn't, unless your family's in the insurance business. But other than that, who wouldn't want to participate in a member benefit discount when it comes to insurance? So if you need another copy of the survey, just send it here on the chat line and we'll get one out to you, or or you could call the office. But it's really important. Can you share her email? What email are we talking about, Steve?
Your person retiring, so we can send her a
Nathan will post it up on the chat line in a minute or two. Her name is Adrian Ryan. Most of you would know her because she's been to every AGM, state cups, President's Cup. She's been with us for a long time, and you probably talked to her on the phone. And then other than that, I don't see it. Let's see.
I have a question. There's another question in there from Dan, Mark.
Sorry, but the webinar has been officially ending now.
Yeah. So just one, before I ask the question, I just want to echo what Mark said about Adrian. In all those years, obviously I've called the state office there and we've had different boards, and different staff and different executive directors. She has been a constant theme of like top class, and tying everything together when there is transition. And I can't say enough good things about her. So I would encourage everybody to definitely send something in for her. Enough about that, but she's definitely awesome. My question was, I'm getting feedback from some of the clubs, and some of them actually may or may not be on this call, but trying to get an idea if the state has heard from, and this maybe is a question for Alan as well, if the state has heard from, let's say, what NCSL is doing versus EDP, you know, obviously that's not until September. Is there any type of guidelines that they're going to have a deadline to submit what match days look like? Because some parents are just like freaking out, and I guess they just want it in writing besides just thinking of common sense. You know, subs wear a mask, players that are playing don't wear one, stuff like that. Is there any kind of if you will, guidelines for that they have to have that stuff submitted by? And is there any type of enforcement?
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me. Like I say, apologies for the internet. Currently, no. That's something that I can reach out to EDP, and obviously if they have any, you know,
All right, thank you, Alan.
We try and answer.
We can't hear you, Alan.
Yeah.
I'll just call you, Alan. That'll probably be the best.
All right. So, any other questions?
Hey, Mark, this is
her email is on the chat line now. If you guys want to send her a quick little message thanking her for everything.
Hey, Mark, this is Steve Senna again. I just wanted to add a comment about the poll that Alan sent out, which I completed, but I feel like you need to interject on a point on that poll, which is as the TD for Maryland Rush, our teams are sort of all at different stages, and I wanted to make sure Alan understood that. So in other words, like our U9 through U12 teams, which are small-sided, we've kept them in the individual skill format and not quite sharing the ball yet. So they're really at a different phase where, like, my 05 National League level team is sharing the ball, and starting next week we'll have some limited contact and training. But I just want to make that clear to Alan that, you know, I don't think one size fits all with that poll sort of thing within your own club.
All right, that's a good issue to bring up. I don't think, you know, I think that one of the good things about having this webinar every other week is to work a lot of these details out and kind of get to know what everybody else is doing around the state of Maryland and in DC, so we can kind of help gauge of what's happening and if anything we could do to help move things along. So, but we appreciate the information because that's an important topic. Not everybody, especially your club, you guys are scattered all over in different phases. So I'm assuming that a lot of the other clubs are having the same kind of issues. Any other questions, concerns you guys want to bring up while we're all together? If not, we're going to probably have another one of these in 2 weeks, and then I think we're going to go to once a month because the information has been limited. We can't really bring too much more other than updates and also another important thing about this webinar is just keeping us all connected because we're all like moving in the same direction at a snail pace, but we're moving. Any other questions? I guess not. I think that we're done for the day then. Appreciate everybody coming aboard, listening to our staff and board members giving up some updates, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with a few more updates, same time, same place. Yes, Dan, I know you want to say one more thing.
No, I just had a question. Is the office open yet?
Yes, it is. The office is open. The staff has been working for 2 weeks now, and if anybody wants to take a ride over and look at it, it's a really nice place. The other news is that the official MSYSA office building was sold about 5 minutes ago. We no longer own that building in Glen Burnie, Maryland. It was bought by a union that deals with I think jails. So it's a good jail. They deal with detention centers and jails around Maryland. So that's going to be their new office. So if you go there to pick up an ODP shirt or a T-shirt, you might get locked up. Anybody else have any comments for the good of the game?
MLS is back. Watch it.
All right. Okay. If I don't see any, so I guess we'll see everybody in 2 weeks. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Julio, where's Julio? Is Julio still on? What were you laying on the ground with a mask on for? Can you explain that to us?
I was in physical therapy.
Oh, physical therapy.
Yes, I had to wear the mask and all of that stuff. I couldn't vote anyways for the Allens, but I'm here anyway.
All right.
Happy to see everybody. Happy to see everybody doing well.
Where you going now?
Back home, sir.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. All right, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Drive safe.
Julio.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. I guess we're done for today. Trish?
Hey,
what's going on, kid?
well, we're gonna induct a new class into the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame in October.
Nice.
We're getting nominees right now, so if anybody has someone they want to nominate, remember last year Bruce Murray was inducted, and we had Dominique Dawes and Sean Springs and Bob Malloy and several others, and we've got some really good candidates, but you know, I'd always like to see someone from soccer in there.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to, just go to our website and you can nominate or just email me and we'll take it. So we're excited about that.
What are the
Sorry? Go ahead.
I'm going to nominate Pete Wood.
What did you say, Dan?
I'm going to nominate Pete Wood.
So, Trish, what do they look for when you nominate somebody in sports? I mean, what are the credentials that you need to have?
Well, the big thing is because it's Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame, they've got to have some connection to Montgomery County. They're born and raised here, went to high school here. They don't necessarily have had to have their Hall of Fame criteria here. In other words, they may have gone to high school here, but they really made their chops at University of Maryland or in college or in pros. So it's the connection to Montgomery County. And we want people of a caliber that would make sense for them to be in the Hall of Fame. Last year we did Katie Ledecky. And even though she's still competing, which, you know, is unusual for a Hall of Fame, we felt that she was probably the most storied athlete out of Montgomery County at this point. So, but there are lots and lots of people from Montgomery County. It can be a coach, it can be an athlete, it could be a sportscaster, anything along those lines. Somebody who's made a huge contribution to sports in Montgomery County. So people that we want diversity, and we like people that have, you know, sort of interesting stories that people don't know anything about.
Right. Okay.
Tariq's on the line. He's trying to hide, but we could throw him on there too. Somebody,
Yeah.
Camera on, you know. He's going stealth on us.
All right, guys. Well, I think I'm done here. I'm going to go back to work.
Good to see everybody.
Nice seeing everybody.